So, if you are offering your gift at the altar and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are going with him to court, lest your accuser hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and you be put in prison. Truly I say to you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny.
This seems a little backwards, Peter. As in, here I'm not the one who has something against my brother. He has something against me. Why should I go to him?
Well, when was the last time you heard of someone who felt offended visiting the person who offended them in an effort to reconcile? Nah, if someone experiences bad treatment from someone they know, it's definitely not the easiest thing to go and try and work things out. It's easier to bring a case against them or try to get revenge somehow.
Yeah, good point. And then what starts out as a tiny issue can become a conflict that just grows and grows.
And it's kind of funny. I remember once on the boat, I suddenly realized that one of the other fishermen thought I had offended him. I talked to him a bit more, and I realized that he was right. I had said something thoughtlessly that I never should have said. It's pretty arrogant to think that I've done everything perfectly towards others.
One more time. It's pretty arrogant to think that I've done everything perfectly towards others.
Jesus is talking about when we're on our way to sacrifice to God. It's strange that I'm supposed to interrupt my sacrifice just because maybe I've offended someone accidentally. I thought God came first, then people.
But don't you remember how Jesus summed up the law and the prophets in just 2 commandments? To love God above all. But the second was just as great and important, to love your neighbor as yourself.
So while it's necessary to have my connection with God in order, it's also important to have my affairs with other people in order.
Yes, and it's easy for me to humble myself before God who is above all. But to humble myself under other people, that is terribly hard.
It's easy for me to humble myself before God, but to humble myself under other people is terribly hard.
And Jesus says this concerning my brother. I understand that to mean people that I have a relationship with, and in some way believe they have reason to hold grudges against me. So, not people who just want to control me or behave destructively toward me.
Agreed. I'm reminded of one of our forefathers, Jacob. He had fled from his father-in-law to go back to his homeland. But his brother Esau was there, who had said he would kill Jacob. So what did Jacob do?
Well, first he sent some of his servants ahead with great gifts for Esau. Then he went out to meet Esau himself and bowed himself 7 times to the earth before him.
But it was Jacob who had received a blessing and promises from God. And God had said that he hated Esau. So why should Jacob bow down to him?
Esau came out to meet him with 400 men, so he didn't have much of a choice. The point just then was to survive the situation.
Yeah, but with God's help, Gideon conquered a great army with just 300 men. Jacob had already received a promise from God that God would always be with him and make his descendants as many as the sand of the sea. With promises like that in hand, why not just walk out to Esau with faith in God?
True.
I think that what had happened the night before is a key bit of the story. When Jacob fought with God, and God couldn't get him to give up, so he eventually pushed his hip out of joint. And it was then, when Jacob was helpless, that God blessed him. I think there was a pride in Jacob's heart that was crushed that night. God taught him there how to manage Esau when morning came.
I think there was a pride in Jacob's heart that was crushed that night. God taught him there how to manage Esau.
Interesting. So back to what Jesus says. His point is that we are not only to bow before God, but also before people?
If you ask me, yeah, that's it. I have so much pride, and to bow and come to terms with my opponent, as Jesus says, is incredibly hard. Of course, I think I'm in the right, but for Jacob, he had to bow to survive.
Yeah. Jesus also says that our accuser will put us in prison and we'll never get out until we've paid the last penny. What do you think he means by that?
I think it means that as long as I'm not humble enough to bow under my fellow men and be reconciled to them, then I'm bound. Then I'm not free to be there where God is and have fellowship with him. And standing there by the altar offering a sacrifice is no help. It is first when I have paid the last penny, given up every shred of my pride, that I am free. Then I have learned to bow before God and man.
Jesus, my Savior, I pray thee, let me abide in thy peace. All that brings rest and assurance, Jesus, within me increase. Though in my flesh there's resistance, yet I delight in thy will, and in thy grace thou dost draw me, Savior, to fall